first things first.
Put on this thing. It's not going.
Yes.
It goes in this way.
Yes.
This will go in
So-
here, but we want to put this on first.
You guys can technically leave the mics in there for now and just use the mic.
Definitely knew that was what that
And
was.
then
Yeah.
we're gonna come put them on here. There's the fun way, the annoying way, going like that. But
I feel like you drop it doing that.
if you loosen this so that this spins, it's so much faster to just screw that. And then we're good. So
Got
you
it?
can do that with both of these big ones. You can also do it with these small ones, because especially with these small ones, it's really tedious to like you can't really twist it like you can those, and so you have to like constantly go like that. So it's fastest to do it that way. And then we put on the mics. So these ones are directional mics, and so while twisting that does do it as well, there's also this little thing that loosens it there so that you can aim it and then tighten it where you want it and get it started. These mics are painful sometimes. You gotta there we go. Now if you twist it, if you twist the mic, it'll whichever way ends up tightening it. And then we need the cables. The button means it's the top, and there's going to be like this dot or something on some mics. I guess those ones don't have it. These mics do, but there's always going to be this line, so that it goes in easy. What are the numbers? 1 through 8 are over here, and in there they go to the first 8. I'm sure he'll show you. And then there's 9 through 16 over here, and the sends. The headphone monitors come from here as well. Now we can take it apart and put it away.
You can do it, microphone. I know you can. I'll miss you most of all, Scarecrow. Okay. Okay, so here's the deal. This is the setup that we have in here, and so first of all, we're going to talk about the interface, which you guys just learned about, right?
Yeah.
The other one. So this interface, same kind of deal. It's connected to the computer over USB. So this connection right here, see the USB cable goes in there. This long cable travels all the way around and plugs into the back of this unit. Okay, and then of course it's got the 4 functions. So it's going to convert from analog to digital and digital to analog. It's going to interface with the computer over that USB cable, and it's going to have the input controls. Okay, and the first thing, this interface has 2 mic inputs that are on the front. Okay, and those are channels 1 and 2, and you can adjust, and these are mic preamps to connect the mics in, and you can adjust the gain with these preamp gain knobs. Okay, so you see I start moving it, and the gain, the mic 1 gain starts to adjust, and there's a little meter there that would move if we had a microphone connected and we were putting signal into it. And then if I move the 2 knob, then it says mic 2 gain that's adjusting. Okay. Now after that, there are line inputs for 3 through 8. And so there aren't more mic preamps than just the 2 on here. And so we have external mic pre's. Okay, and this is what we wanted to show beyond what was, in the other setup. So just kind of like you guys went through the mixing console as a preamp, we're going to use these preamps and then go into the line input of this. So these preamps are all fancier and nicer sounding than these 2 preamps here. But it's a little bit more complex to use because you're going through this preamp and then into this box and stuff. But the way we have it set up is actually pretty simple. Now, input 3 goes to this universal audio preamp. This is a tube preamp, so it has really rich sound to it. And there's your level control and stuff, and it's got a lot more knobs and controls than just these ones do. So it's a little bit more complex like that, but sounds good. And then it has a compressor as well that could be potentially used. Okay, and then the next one is the Warm Audio, the WA73. This has a preamp section that's basically this red knob, and then it has EQ that you can change the signal if you'd like. And this goes automatically into line input 4. So 1, 2 is here, 3, 4, and those correspond with the connectors out there in the studio, and they also correspond with the software. Okay, so when you're in Pro Tools, if you plug into this one right here, channel 4 in Pro Tools is where you're going to get a signal. Okay, and then this box right here actually has 4 preamps in it. So you have 5, 6, 7, 8, which is says right there 5 to 8. Okay, so those all go into the line inputs of there, and so we're just getting a little fancier inputs than we would if we just had a bunch of preamps built into our interface. Okay, and then down here we have this other preamp that's an 8-channel preamp, and this goes 8 channels, and it converts this one actually does the preamp and the conversion and sends a digital signal from this box to this box. So now we have 16 channels that we can record through this box into the computer. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. And you can see it's labeled that way, so 9 through 16 out there is going to go into this box, and then it's actually called ADAT 1 through 8 when you do it on the computer. Okay, now that's a little bit more advanced. That we're really in this class we're just going to be recording one mic at a time, nice and simple. And you could, it's probably going to be easiest just to use input 1 and 2 for that. Okay,
So,
yeah.
for all these, it might just be a defining question, but for all of these, how you would change going to a different, fancier one would be which one you plug it into.
Exactly.
Okay.
And sometimes there's a thing called a patch bay where you can plug in wherever and you can say, oh, I want to go from this one to this one. But like the way we have it set up, it's just like you decide out there which one you plug it into. And that decides. And that's what where it says in, that corresponds with the inputs out there in the studio. So in 1 and 2, in 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so those are all the preamps, and that's the input control of the mixer. Now a lot of these will also have high Z input, so you can see there's a high Z button, and so you can plug into this like with a guitar or bass. This one has a high Z there, it says instrument right there. You can plug in there. This one also has high Z, and you can switch over to the instrument side. And even these ones are a combo jack that you can plug a 1/4 inch like from a guitar or bass, and it automatically switches to the high Z input. Okay, so that's all the input control. So that's why we don't need a mixer. We have all these preamps, and we can do everything we would need with the input of the mixer. Okay, so that's all the inputs. Then we have the outputs. Now the right side of this interface is where the outputs are. So first of all, there's the monitor level, which is like the signal going to the speakers, and then we have headphones. Now in this circumstance, we are kind of bypassing this section, and we're using this box. And this is a dedicated monitor controller, which kind of does the same thing as this, plus a little bit more. Okay, that's why we're using it. So if I play something, this big knob right here will adjust the level going to the speakers. So we can turn up really loud or turn down soft. Okay. And there's a mute button, just turns it off. And there's a dim button that turns it down, so it's still there. So if it's like really loud and then you want to talk, you can put the dim on so you can still talk and everything. And then there's actually a mono button that will send the signal to like both left and right, sum it together. But you don't want any of those on as a regular basis, okay? And then we also have headphones. So there's these 2 headphone jacks, and these are connected to these wires that go out into the studio. So you can plug headphones in the studio, and they're going to hear the same thing you hear. And then the only difference is they will hear the talkback. So this is one of the important reasons why we use this box, is for talkback. So I can, if I click on this, I can be talking, and somebody is listening through the headphones, and they will hear me talking to them. There's a little microphone right there. Okay. So now when you can communicate with people as you're trying to record with the talkback. Okay. And then the other thing that this kind of box will help you do is maybe you'll have 2 sets of monitors, and you could switch to other monitors. That's what these buttons that are taped over are for. we only have the one set of monitors, so you don't really need to do anything over here. But on the input side, you can have multiple inputs going to that. So right now, input number 1 is coming from this box. And so it's going to there. If I turn off input 1, now it's not sent over there, okay? And then if I plug in a phone or a computer to this aux cable that just got bent the other day, I push number 2. Now this signal is what's going to the speakers. The 2 reasons why we use this box is so we can have talkback and so we can have the input select between this and this. Okay. Whereas if we just use this box down here, we don't have talkback and we don't have that. And then of course we're connected to the computer. We've got the computer here. We've got Pro Tools and Logic on here. We've got plugins and everything like we talked about. We have our studio monitors. And these are the same speakers that are in the Echo Studio as well as in the lab. And then we have a keyboard, right? Dun, dun, dun. A keyboard to play, just like we have out there. So some of the same things, but having that interface and having lots of preamps and inputs allows us to record stuff from in the studio.
So today we'll be talking about signal flow, because without signal flow,
we don't get anything, and it's just boring silence.
so basically like what we have set up right now is this mic, or input, is going into this board, right? And without anything just going in, it has a master out, so it's just going to the speakers.
Hey, not through anything else. You don't need to, you can just hear ourselves. Can't record, but
For like a live setting, it's great, you know? And I think the big thing is just to be wary of like where you're going, right? So you pick a channel, any channel, except one doesn't work, so not one. So we picked 2, and you just turn up the fader on 2, and it just directly correlates. So, say you want to like record stuff, and able to do that, you have to go through your interface to get to the computer. Because this alone isn't an interface, it's like ancient and can't really speak the language. So, I mean, if you want to come around the side and see, oops. You just got to be wary of like your outputs. So I'm going into 2, right? So then I'm going to have, all these are our outputs. So I'm going to output 2, right? So then this cable is going out. Our signal should be coming through here. And then, then this, we can just do 2 for the sake of simplicity. Keep it consistent. And then come around to Pro Tools. Your ins and outs, mic 2.
enable, and there we go. And we're recording into Pro Tools.
So you just got to be wary of that if you want to, like, just think about. It's honestly just following cables and just being wary. It's your turn.